Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Space Invaders TV. I'm your host, Rashawn, aka Looker, trying to fix myself up here. It looked like my collar was a little crooked. I don't know. We ain't here for all that, though. But listen, peace and blessings be with all you guys. Welcome back. It is Friday, January the 14th, 2022. And yeah, we're gonna get right into it, folks. We're gonna be a little all over the place. I'm just gonna be dropping some updates on you guys on different things that may be going on that you might and might not know. Uh, um, we gonna go around for a minute. I'm gonna talk local and then I'm gonna go national a little bit. So first up, I want to talk about Guilford County Schools in uh, North Carolina. Hey, somebody's down there at GCS is listening. I knew you guys always was listening. Somebody was tapped in because it seems like y'all took everything I said last week when I talked about getting involved and you asking the parents to carpool. And I said, what about having what about the school board members getting themselves in some vans or whatever, or getting themselves on those school buses and driving them? And so I seen what happened. I said that last Thursday, I think the 8th or something like that. You come back, bam. I think it was the 7th. I may be off, folks. Well, anyway, we come back on Monday, bam, what do we have? We're going to have this, the students will get shuttle vans or whatever. They'll be shuttling them back and forth to school. They're going to have the options. They can take the bus. So that's a great thing. I heard a couple days ago, whatever, that the coaches were even jumping in and driving the vans, picking up students. So that's a good thing. Listen to the parents. If you just stop and listen to the parents and not be so much on the defense all the time and thinking that someone's trying to come into your school board meetings and causing mayhem, listen to what the parents are saying. So I know that somebody's listening to me because everything that I said, you guys are doing this week. So I want to know how it's going. If anyone's watching, you have your child or any your relatives that you know that have been using the shuttle service provided by not the public bus service that GCS had offered the shuttle service as well, where they have staff members that are jumping in and driving those vans, or even they got the coaches I heard jumping on the school buses and picking up students as well. So let me know how that's working out. That's what I'm saying. This is all I was saying, and I said it last week. Giving options. You asking the parents to do something that you guys are not even attempting to do. So, but I see that you've done it. Y'all, you know, I hope it's going well. And for the students that are catching the bus and maybe never caught the public bus before, it's a new experience, you know. And I hope that it goes off well and everything. Timing wise, you know, it all works out for the students and everything, man. And you know, and you is another learning lesson. You know, if you never took the public bus before, now you get a chance to, you know, take the bus and ride a route or something and ride through an area that you may have never rode through before. You know, so yeah, so hey, kudos GCS. You're listening. Now, the next thing is, you know, yeah, I pat you on your back, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to, you know, listen. So, you're touring around the schools and, you know, And now they're going around the schools examining all the damages, and I'm saying to myself, why are we even doing that? You know the list of the schools that are damaged. Let's stop everything. Stop doing all of this stuff for like photo ops and everything like that, because it doesn't look good. For years and years and years, GCS, Guilford County, um, you had different people coming in these sitting in these seats and just been kicking the can down the road, man. Kicking the can. I blame everybody when it comes to the Guilford County schools. The conditions of the schools. I blame the mayors, uh, the manager, the city manager. I blame them as well too, because if you know these things were going on in your city, um, you should have been stepping in. And even right now today with the mayor Nancy Vaughn, even right now today with Commissioner, with the head commissioner, chief commissioner Skip Austin, let's stop playing these games. And Skip has been sitting on the city council. He was there, Now he's moved on and moved up to the committee. Like, come on, man. Like, you've seen all of these things happening. So out of a lot of people, he knows better. And y'all kicked the can for a long time, and I'm seeing like, oh, they did a walkthrough on one of the schools the other day here in Guilford County, and I'm saying like, okay, what are we walking through for? Just get to it. The schools were, one of the schools, they were talking about they had mold and everything on their furniture in the school, in the classrooms and everything. Like, come on, man. Let's stop. Because the more you guys drag this thing out, the more crazier you look, and the more sad it is, because to be honest with you, the timeline that you set up for Guilford County schools and you wanting to fix all these schools, some of you folks are not even going to be in office and in these seats when half of it gets started. You and I know that. So, we know what this is all about. You know what I mean? Election season is coming up. Candidates are able to start filing again, getting it in order. So yeah, it's gonna be some seats getting moved, because there's some seats up this year. So yeah, man. As I said, I blame the managers. I blame the city manager. I blame the mayor, because those two together should have got together, and jumped in when they know. And I'm not just talking about this mayor that we have now. She sucks anyway. Nancy Vaughn sucks. But I'm saying the mayors before her, city managers, and I know that Greensboro has been through multiple. Greensboro alone has been through multiple city managers. Within the last 5 years, they done been through a handful. So what I'm saying is that for Greensboro alone, for the schools in Greensboro alone in Guilford County, I hold, the mayors and the city managers accountable. But when you see the city managers constantly quitting, as I've seen, and all the residents have seen, if you've been paying attention and locked in, you had to know it was a situation when you seeing people, city managers just continuously keep quitting, walking away from the job, So then we have these issues with superintendent and school board, and it's just poor choices, man. When your schools is in dire need, you have no time to play games. Your school's been in dire need even before even before the superintendent that's sitting there now for Guilford County Schools, Sharon Contreras. Even before she got there, the schools, was in dire need of upgrades. But then when she get in, it just makes it worse. You just see nothing happening, and you see the money. You actually starting to really see the money, and then you're getting taxed, getting sale taxes are going up on folks again for the second time in 5 years, and all because schools, they talked about the sale tax will increase so it can offset and for the upgrades they need for the schools. But you got a lot of money. Just the other day, when everyone was complaining about where schools were in limbo about shutting down and everything like that and going to remote learning, you had President Joe Biden come on, and he stated, he's like, there's no need for the schools to close, to go to remote learning. We say you stay in school, whatever your feelings are on that. My point is, when Joe Biden said, we've given to public education, we've shelled out $130 billion. $130 billion. So, schools around the United States, it was a budget of $130 billion for COVID relief that the government gave out. So they're like, hey, we ain't trying to hear that y'all shutting down schools. Y'all have money, like Joe Biden said. You have money. That money was set for you to do what was necessary for the school system, for what you needed, for COVID relief. That's what he said. But you're hearing so much other things that these folks are doing with the money. The government's giving out so much money left and right, this way, that way, that they're not actually locked in and really paying attention to what folks are really doing with the money. So at the end of the day, what I took from Joe Biden is like, hey, we gave y'all the money. Y'all better do what y'all need to do with it. We had a budget of $130 billion, plus they added another 10 more billion onto it. So it was actually like $140 billion that they put up for the schools around the country. So that was the whole budget. So all the schools got whatever portion out of that $140 billion. So it should be no reason of anything. When you're talking about school bus drivers shortages, pay them. When you're talking about the teachers, pay them. We got Forsyth County up here, people make mistakes, but a $16 million mistake, like, how do you miscalculate that? And then, so now the teachers are not, the educators in Forsyth County are not getting the $3,600 bonus they were they were told they were going to get that. This was on the news. This was pretty much documented that this is what they're going to get. They give Forsyth County did the numbers and everything, and this is what they came out with. This is what the everyone in education will get. The teachers will get their bonus. So now that got knocked down this week to half of that, because they claim they say that they made a mistake in the budgeting. What do you think that made people feel? How do you think that make these teachers feel? Again, we have to stop playing around with the funding. The president put it on blast this week. The money is there. Do what you got to do for it, or with it. So moving on, I want to talk about also. Let's talk about the Supreme Court judge Sotomayor's, that's her name, Sotomayor's. Last week on what was it? January the 9th or something like that. She quoted, she said there were 100,000 children that were in hospital on ventilators due to having contacted COVID. She said 100,000 children were in the hospital around the United States, most on ventilators. Wild false claim. And so the health department, they come back and they say, wait a minute, that's not true. There's only 3,500 kids in the United States. that have contracted COVID, and they said actually, uh, uh, the transmission of COVID with the kids has been low and has always been low. So that number where people just wildly, you're hearing media outlets just wildly quoting and saying, yeah, we have a lot of kids in the hospital that have contracted COVID and this, that is false. The numbers have been very low, very low since the start of this, but we have we have one of the judges that just quoting out like wild numbers, and these are the things that get people in an uproar. You can't just be, in these times right now. You have to be on point when we speaking on this COVID, when we speaking about this funding. You can't just say things and then go just try to take it back off of the table, You just can't be throwing things out there to people and throwing these numbers like that out there to people and having people, like really in the uproar and people really nervous out here. People, we gotta pay attention to what these media outlets and everything needs to stop and pay attention to what's being said and how they're saying things and how many times they're saying it, because people are dealing with stress. This cause added stress on people. You really mess with people's mental with this, and people, for the past 2 years, you got to understand what the citizens have been going through, for the loss of loved ones, the loss of employment, and just not knowing where to turn next, and trying to keep their head above the water. Do all of this, we have to watch what and how we are saying things to folks, So that was a crazy claim. Like that was a crazy claim that judge just ran off. I'm gonna read this real quick. I want to read this. All right, so 3,400 kids are in the hospital, not 100,000. CDC Director Walensky corrects liberal Justice Sotomayor's wild false claim that over 100,000 children are seriously ill with COVID, many on ventilators. We have over 100,000 children, which we've never had before, in serious condition and many on ventilators, Sotomayor said on Friday. Walensky contracted Sotomayor's claims during a Fox News Sunday segment. The number is not 100,000, it's roughly 3,500 in hospitals now. Asked Brett Baier. Yes, in fact, there's still about 15-fold less than hospitalization of our older age or age demographic, Walensky answered, adding they were vastly unvaccinated as of January 8th. The number of hospitalizations in children in the U.S. is roughly 5,000, while the CDC has reported 84,000 cumulative since August 2020. So actually the CDC had been miscalculating as well, and that's where that judge, where she was getting her information from, and so the CDC had to backpedal, backtrack, and clean up their whole fact sheet, So that was going on. So then let me finish on this one paragraph here. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky contracted Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor's incorrect claim that there are 100,000 pediatric COVID hospitalizations on Sunday. Justice Sotomayor, a liberal associate justice appointed by former President Obama, exaggerated the number of severe COVID-19 cases and hospitalization among children, as she attempted to convince conservative Supreme Court justice that President Joe Biden's vaccine mandate for business should be enforced. We have over 100,000 children, which we've never had before, in serious condition and many on ventilators, Sotomayor said on Friday. So Sotomayor was trying to convince why Joe Biden, his whole plan for businesses to uh, and enforce the vaccine mandate, she goes and use the children, but then use a false number, you know, of children being hospitalized because of COVID. She that was wrong to even try to use the children on that, you know. But that's what happens, man. You know, they gotta stop with all of this trying to control the people's mental and scaring tactics and all of these things, man. You know, it's just wild and it's just ridiculous to me, to be honest with you. But moving on, so if you are a student, a former student in North Carolina, or even around the country, period. I think I seen the total number like 400 million or something like that students. If you were, if you had a loan of a Navient, under Navient, a student loan company, you will be getting some relief. You won't have to pay that money back. So let me read it off to you guys. Raleigh, North Carolina. A big win for North Carolina student loan borrowers. Navient has been ordered to pay out millions in restitution after the loan servicer was accused of widespread, unfair, deceptive, and predatory lending practices. According to the Office of North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein, on Thursday, Stein announced that Navient will pay $32,259,086 to more than 12,000 federal loan borrowers in North Carolina, and 1,267 borrowers will get a total of $33 million in private loan cancellation. Yes. So, okay, let me finish this. This comes as part of a $1.85 billion settlement involving multiple statements. So, what will Navient have to do? Pending court approval, Navient will be required to cancel the remaining balances on at least $1.7 billion in subprime private student loan balances owed by nearly 66,000 borrowers nationwide, pay an additional $142.5 million to Attorney General, explains the benefit of income-driven repayment plans, and offer to estimate income-driven payment amounts before placing borrowers into optional forbearance moving forward. Trained specialists who will advise distressed borrowers concerning alternative repayment options and cancel public service workers concerning public service loan forgiveness and related programs be prohibited from compensating customer service agents in a way that incentives them to minimize the time they spend counseling borrowers. I have a loan through Navient. What do I do? So if you have a loan through Navient, this is what you do. This is what they say. Federal loan borrowers who qualify don't need to do anything. You may wish to update or create a studentaid.gov account to make sure that the U.S. Department of Education has your current address. For more information, visit Navient, www.navientagsettlement.com. Navient will send us notice to borrowers who will have their private loan debts canceled by July 2022. So by this year, 2022, if you had a student loan through Navient, your loan will be canceled by July of this year, 2022. This notice will include refunds for any payments made on the canceled private loan after June 30th, 2021. Federal loan borrowers who are eligible for restitution payment of about $260 will receive a postcard in the mail. For about $260 will receive a postcard in the mail from the settlement administrator later this spring. What is a Navient accused for? Well, we ain't gonna go into that. So yeah, if you have a student loan through Navient, you will be getting your loan canceled. From what I just read here, and it's all around on many, all around on the internet. All media outlets have been talking about it. so all around the country. So yeah, that's what's going down. That's a good deal there for you know any students that was under that company right there. You had your loan through Navient, and you're gonna be able to get it canceled. Yeah, it's about time, man. Because I've heard some of the crazy stories, man, where people will be owing, graduate by the time they graduate college, man, they're owing like crazy $100,000, $70,000. And let's think about this here. You know, the average student, the average, they ain't even start paying no real bills in their life, But when they get out, they got this crazy bill on them like that, man. Like, and then you gotta, and now, and so you come out in the world, and now you trying to find a job if you hadn't already come right out to a job because you may have done some, you know, some type of pickup work while you were in college. So then you come out, you got to find a job. Then when you find a job, now you trying to get your life on track, but you got this major bill over your head, and they wanting, depending on, a lot of times depending on what you're making, what you're grossing, they want a percentage of what you're grossing. So then it's like, man, like, how do you live? Like, how do you live with that over your head? And then you're trying to accumulate other things. You're trying to, and today, though, how crazy it is today. I mean, let's not even talk about a house. Like, you got crazy, you got crazy student loans. You couldn't even get a house. You got that hovering over you. They see that, like, automatically. They $60,000. And then they're looking at you're looking at, okay, how much you're making. They're looking at how much you're spending out during a month. We're not talking about trying to even rent a place. They're going off your credit, so then that makes it hard for you, and let's not talk about if you have a vehicle and you still financing it or whatever. I mean, let's not talk about your expenses once you have your place, all of your expenses from your light bill, your water bills, and things of that nature, cell phone bills, which is crazy because today, you rarely see landlines in folks' houses, all cell phones, man, and that's the primary phone, and those bills can be outrageous, you know, outrageous, outrageous. So yeah, man, that's a good thing, man. That's something lifted off of folks' heads. So I guess in the coming weeks, if anybody had their student loan through Navient, you shall start seeing some literature coming to you in the mail concerning this. So that's a good look. Um, but yeah, folks, I that's it for me for today. I haven't anything else, but I'm glad to know that, to go back to it, I'm glad to know that Guilford County Schools has, somebody's over there listening. And I hope you guys will keep listening. I'll keep giving you some tips. I'll keep giving you some tips. So, yeah, I'm glad to see that you guys used everything that I said, GCS. Uh, the shuttle service. Just giving the students and the parents more than that one option. And showing these, not only the students but the parents, that you care, that you're just not so that's a good move. I'm glad you guys moved on that swiftly, because I had said it on last Thursday. Yeah, last Thursday, I believe that was the 7th. Yeah, something like that. The 6th or the 7th. It was Thursday or Friday when I put out the show. And I don't have a calendar right in front of me. So when I put out the show, um, I talked about that. And I said, yeah, what you guys could be doing. What you asking of the parents, why aren't you guys jumping in and doing it. And I mainly was speaking on the school board members. Why weren't they? But I had heard first that the school board members were going to be. So when I heard that, yeah, it was the actually it was the 6th. It was Thursday. It was January the 6th, 2022, when I actually said something about that. The last post, like my last 2 posts, I had talked about that. So yeah, I mean, so it's a good thing to see that they jumped in and did that, and I hope they continue to keep it going. And I did see something just the other day too, that their Guilford County Schools are also talking about raising, the bonuses or whatever, or the pay for school bus drivers. I mean, my thing is that let's just stop playing with the money and give all that you can give, because you need it. We can't play around anymore. There's no playing around, and that goes for all levels of business around this country. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The way this country done business in the past will not be the way you're going to have to do business going forward. The people are not going to continue to keep working and feeling like they're not being appreciated. I mean, they're showing you. I don't know what else to say. The people are showing you they're not going to continue to keep working and being felt like they're not appreciated. They're going to pick up and go where they feel appreciated. That's what's going to happen. It's no more of this mind game of thinking, the mentality, or at least where you may have in a lot of companies, which a lot of companies need to check this. You need to check who you have in your lower management, because some of these companies who you have in your lower management, right? I'm trying to find the right word. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. The culture that they're presenting to the employees of your company, the lower management, the culture that they may present to the employees of the company is that of one of you do what I say, you work for me, and it's like a one-way street. Well, no, it's a contract. Okay, when you when you fill out an application for a job, they call you up for an interview. They like what they hear, you like what you hear. It's a mutual agreement, because they say, hey, well, we calling you, we like what we seen. This is what we could do. Blah 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 blah. This is what we offer. What do you feel? What are your concerns? You tell them as an employee to an employer, well, this is what I feel. This is what I'm great with this. They ask their questions. Boom. They go their separate ways. You get another call back, or you might know right there on the spot. They say, well, we can do that. We agree upon that. You agree upon whatever. Everyone agrees upon it. Bang. Next time you come in, you're filling out paperwork about how you're going to get paid, where they're going to send your money to, and blah, 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 this and that. If emergency happens, who do we contact? This and that. It's a contract, okay? It's a contract. It can be broken at any time, because if you break the rules of their company, if the company breaks your rules, you can quit, and that's what happens. But you got these people that are in lower management, that these companies, especially these larger companies, these Fortune 500 companies, you need to pay attention to who you're putting in lower management, because not everybody is suitable and has the capacity, the mental capacity to be in said positions. You cannot use people for the sake of, you have a lot of companies that do things like they'll put certain people in position. They won't actually put them in positions, but they'll have them acting and standing in positions that they're not equipped to be in. They're not just because they've been at a said place for a long time, they're not equipped to be in those seats. They're not equipped. They're not mentally. They can't handle that. They can't handle certain stress. They don't know how to react when certain things happen. You know, you gotta, when you in any management position, you have to remain calm. You have to act accordingly. You have to be able to use your head and think on your toes. Sometimes like that. And what that means is if you're thinking on your toes like that, that means that you know your job back and forwards. You know your company that you're working for backwards and forwards. So you're able to think. You already know what, oh, okay, if this happens over here, hey, I can go this way and get this over here, blah, blah, blah. I know who to go grab this one to go do this here, that, and the third. You know, it takes people skills. I don't care what industry you're in. When you're dealing with, if you're in management and you're dealing with employees under you, it takes people skills. You cannot talk to people the way, because you don't know what people are dealing with in their personal lives. So I say that to say, I know I went all the way around the block a little bit, but I understand, like, I know that y'all get where I'm coming from. That is what's going on today. People are tired. People have done with that, the mind games, the behavior, people dealing with things on their own and their own personal life. They come to work and they have someone acting like an asshole to them that's supposed to be their superior, their supervisor or manager, who just acts like an asshole. See, that's another thing. You can't do that either. You people think because if they act like an asshole, that's gonna make people do things. That's a whole backwards way of thinking, and I'm telling you from experience of being in management. Okay, for a very long time I was in management. Okay, so being an asshole is not the way to get people to do things. You have to, you cannot be acting like you're like this so above people. Okay, you're human too. Okay, so at the end of the day, when you're managing folks, it's just a title. You're still human, and you have to treat people with respect. The only way people are going to do things for you if you treat them with respect. You have to talk to people and see how they day going sometimes, you know? It's not all about you. And what happens is they put these folks in position for whatever reason. These folks become in position in these companies, right? Because they've been there for X amount of years or what have you. But they're really not equipped. Just because you've been working somewhere for X amount of years doesn't mean that you're even equipped to be in any management position. You just been there and you're equipped to do the job that you've been doing. Because mentally you haven't prepped yourself to be anything else. You know? You haven't prepped yourself to be a leader. See, a lot of people are being classified leaders in these companies because they've been there for a long time. Because people may come to them for answers and questions. Just because your employee and other employees come to you for questions, that's only because they know that you've been there for a long time and you gotta know the answer. They might can't find whoever the supervisor or manager is at the time, but they know that you know a lot. So they'll come to you. That still don't mean that you could be a leader just because you know things. You have to be able to act under pressure. You have to be able to move and act under pressure accordingly. And what's happening today out here is that's one of the things. I've seen it time and time again. Like, you got folks that think that just because they should just be an asshole, they're a supervisor or manager, being an asshole is the way to go. And I don't know who trained them on that. I'm trying to figure out who is the general manager that even put that type of person in charge. Who never seen that, you know, because if you're a people person and you're a good judge of character, those type of folks, you can see them. You know, you can see them from a mile away, man. Like, you get a position and then you get this air about you. But then what happens is that moves and runs people away. So a lot of things what's going on in these industries, man, is people just not putting up with that no more, and they're not gonna trying to feel like you slave driving them, you know, and you're not gonna talk to people any type of way, and you're not gonna just play on people's mental, um, tap dance on their brain, man. You're not gonna do it, and people are fed up with that. I mean, everything I don't care if it's good or bad. Everything's just the way of the universe. Everything has to come to an end. Okay? Uh, let's just think, for instance, when we think about sports teams, the best team, everything has to come to an end for many reasons. Contract reasons. Players are going different places. Coaches may get tired. Coaches may get pulled to go somewhere else, depending on what level they're in. If they're not at the pro level yet, if they're at a college level, if they're at a high school level, whatever level they are below college, below the pros, they could get pulled. They could get swayed and persuaded at any time when it comes to coaches. So that can change the dynamics. That will change the dynamics of a team. Um, the players, you know what I mean? So every good thing, if it was and they were and they were, if they were a great team, yeah, kids are going to graduate if they're in a lower level below, pro. They're graduating and moving on. So every good thing is not. Then you're going to see the dynamics of the team changing over and over and over again, even on a professional level. No, nothing stays the same because on a professional level now we talking money. So money is always the moving factor there. So things are going to change. It's just the way the universe goes. We've seen even when, I'm using sports as an example. Even the worst teams that you may see, things change for them. They become. They get their thing together. They bring different folks in that can level them up, and you see things changing. You know, let's just think, for instance, I ain't gonna name the teams, but you've seen some of the teams in the NFL on the bottom of the bottom of the crop, the bottom, and look today. Some have 5 championships, uh, one championship, working on another one. We seen these teams at the bottom for years, at the bottom, 40 years, 50 years at the bottom. So, I mean, things change. Business, things gonna change. Things gonna change. So, and that's what's changing now. That right there. So what I'm saying is, businesses, you have to. But when we think about these corporations, really all businesses. Period. I don't really care what level of business you on. The upper management, pay attention to your lower management and how they are presenting the culture of your company. Because the upper management, the CEOs and all of that, the presidents, your view of the company, your culture, the culture that you guys have set may have be of an open door, one thing, open door. You could talk about anything, bring your problems, and we're here to talk. Let's get to the bottom of it. But then you have those that are on your lower management. They're not, and you have codes of ethics and things of that nature. That's what the upper management, that's what you guys stand on. But you have your guys in the lower management that they are not standing on that. And then you may have wondering why your people are leaving and why you having problems. And that is the reason why you're having problems. Because you have those on the lower management, they're not pushing. So when we think about these school systems here, and when I say lower management, since we're going to look at it like that, when we think about the school system around the country and what we're seeing, you have superintendents of schools. They're not doing things like they should do. Some of them, when you read the stories on why they got, or if they got fired, why they got fired, the states are not stepping up, doing what they need to do, and the states are being the upper management. They're allowing certain behaviors, and some of them are allowing these people to come in, and now it's disrupting the whole education system for that said state. And the culture is all wrong. That, and I'm just using education as an example, too. So when we talk about education and what we've been seeing month after month, week after week for the past 2 years, what's been going on, this COVID has done nothing but rocked and shook the tree and pulled back the curtain. So a lot of things are just falling out of that tree. and you're seeing it as that curtain is pulled back now. It's all out there. So That's just what we seeing out here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, on all spectrums. When we talk about business in this country, it's not going to be the same. Business as it was will never be the same again. The way of life is going to be different now. Who would have thought that today we'd be wearing masks? Like that'll be the thing. Who would have really thought that? People are going back and forth arguing about who should wear masks. Why? No, I don't want it. Nah. Who would have thought that would even been a conversation? But it is one. Who would have thought uh, a COVID? Who would have thought a virus would be like just spreading across the globe? Who would have really like the average person? If you don't read up on things like that, like those type of theory books and everything, then you wouldn't really be tapped into that. So if the average person, who would have really thought, you know, so but it's just the world is the way it's going now, and the we can't fight the universe. It's time for change. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is on all levels. On all levels of business, on all levels from legal, from the law standpoint, education standpoint, uh, from food, nutrition standpoint, the way we treat each other, uh, everything. It has to change. It has to change, you know. And I don't know what else to tell you if you don't believe so, you know. But ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. This is Space Invaders TV. I'm your host, Rashawn, aka Looker. Make sure that you share the page, subscribe to the page. Don't just keep the info for yourself. Share it with your loved ones, your friends, associates. We having conversations over here and topics over here that, I know that many speak about with their family, friends, and associates. So that's what it's about here. It's not about disrespecting anyone, yelling off into the camera and all of that crazy stuff. It's just really having real conversation about something, and don't be shy. Drop your comments or what you may feel in the comment. Like I said, I speak on things. Everything that I say, I don't believe everything I say. I don't think that everything I say is Bible. Although I do bring my research with me, and I make sure that I do present the topics to you to the best of my ability. But it's not said that I can't be challenged. I welcome that. If I say something wrong, check me, please, by all means. Leave it in a comment. This isn't a page. I always say page, y'all. This isn't a channel where I'm looking for my ego to be rubbed. This is a channel to informative channel to inform you to the best of my ability. There's so many things going on in the world that I can't touch every single thing, but I try to touch enough of what I can. And mainly, I always try to start with where I'm at right now, where I'm located at, and then I branch out to the other parts of the world, the other parts of the country, but I start from where I'm at and what I'm seeing locally, and just to let you guys know where I'm at, and try to put most people, if you're not paying attention, or I know how everybody's day is, you work every day, you don't get enough time to sit down and watch news and see what's going on. Some people don't like to tap into that because it's too stressful. So some people turn to social media now for their news, and it's less. Some of it can be less stressful, and you can also just tap into what you can curate your own media or what you want to see, far as news. So that's what I try to bring to you guys here. Like I said, I start locally, what state I'm in, where I reside at in North Carolina. I start here, and then I go branch out to the rest of the country or the globe. So that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. I thank y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all stay locked in with me. Peace and blessings to all of y'all. Until next time, this is Space Invaders TV, and I'm out.